Bro, you gotta come, bro. Yes, sir. It's Thursday, which means it's I think we call it Baby Friday. I'm Brandon Marshall. I am your guest host of the day because I'm sitting by myself. You have Ashley Nicole Moss, who's right behind me in the red, whatever this ensemble is. She's somewhere on a plane flying to Aruba, Belize, or the Caribbean island somewhere. She's off for a couple of days, so she left me in her seat. She said, Brandon, don't get comfortable. And Brandon Flowers is on some type of mountain meditating. There's a lot about Brandon Flowers we don't know. We're getting to know Brandon Flowers, but he's not here. But who is here with me because we had a huge night in basketball is my brother and Mr. Shimmy himself, Mr. Antoine Walker. What's up, big bro?
What's up, baby?
How you doing? Bro, I still don't understand why you're not in the South. You played for the Miami Heat, okay? We know you from Chicago. It is cold in Chicago. I lived in Chicago. I played in Chicago. You know that. So I know Chicago, bro. It's okay to say, you know what? It's time to go down south.
It ain't there yet right now. We still got good weather. It's still 50s, 60s. It ain't quite bad. You know that. I'm from Chicago, so I can handle a little cold.
Yeah, bro, but I want you to be my next door neighbor. You're missing it. Every time you're on the show, I talk about this. And I think you're missing it. I want you to move next door to me. I want you to be in studio with me. Can you get that done, yes or no? What do we need to do to get that done?
I gotta move there, or just gotta come down there and be down there for a while?
Listen, hey, look, you big dog. Why you just keep the condo in Chicago and get a nice little crib in Miami, and then you can fly back and forth. I'm trying to really get this show off the ground. I need you in studio. So you tell me what I need to do for you to be in studio.
We gotta talk off air, man. Talk off air. We don't want to put that out there like that. But no.
You don't want to tell me the number? I love you, bro. Hey, big night in hoops, bro. LeBron James loses AD, right? Hip spasms. And the Lakers lose to Houston in Houston. 34 points. Is this enough? Do the Lakers have enough to compete for a championship?
It's not the fact that they don't have enough. The thing is that the league has more parity now. And I think that I don't want to say scary, but that it factor is not there no more when you play the Lakers. I don't think anyone's scared to go at the Lakers anymore, and that's not taking anything away from LeBron James or Anthony Davis, but they don't have that that type of team that the teams are scared of. And then also you got to flip it too. These young teams, especially a team like Houston, they get up. You know, you get their best effort when you're LeBron James and Anthony Davis and the Lakers. You know, the young Houston team, they get up to play against the Lakers. So the Lakers have to be ready to match these young teams' energy, effort that's needed. But it's really hard to put together championship teams. Obviously, we know LeBron wants to play nothing but for championships, and they're piecing these teams together every summer to put pieces around them. And, you know, a training camp in 1 month doesn't get it done. We're early in the season right now. You probably can ask that question come January, February, when they've got a couple months in, they played 25, 30 games. But early in the season, some of those other guys got to understand when you plan for the Lakers and what the goal is and what it's going to take.
Let's be real. Do you really think that guys are coming with that energy? I know what energy you're talking about, right? It's like when I was first in the league in the NFL and we were going against a Peyton Manning, we were going against a Tom Brady, or if I was going against a Darrelle Revis or a Champ Bailey, right? Like I knew I had to come with a little bit more oomph, right? Because they were the creme of the creme de la creme. Do you think guys in the NBA still look at the Lakers and LeBron and AD as that?
I think it's LeBron and AD, yeah, of course. I mean, LeBron is still one of the top 5 players in this league. So teams definitely get up for them. And, you know, it's the Lakers. Still has that mystique, still has that aura about them that you like to play. It's like playing in Madison Square Garden. You know, when you go in Madison Square Garden, you know, guys want to put up numbers in there. Guys want to have, superstars want to have that game to say, I did it in Madison Square Garden. So the Knicks games are entertaining. They get great efforts. They get great performances in that arena. It's the same thing when you play the Lakers. You want to perform well when you play against the Lakers. So it's the same type of mentality going in there. And, you had the little Dylan Brooks one to guard LeBron James and talking about that and all that stuff. So you had all that going on as well.
Right. Now, look, man, when I look at this thing, let me go to my screen, my standing screen, Western Conference. You have the Denver Nuggets. That's playing exceptional, and we'll get to that conversation. Right, last night that was another big game. They played against Golden State, and that was an unexpected outcome for some. You got the Dallas Mavericks are sitting at 2. The Dallas Mavericks are sitting at 2. Luka and Kyrie are finding a way. They're playing exceptional ball. And then you got the Timberwolves at 3, the Golden State Warriors at 4, OKC at 5, the Houston Rockets at 6, the Suns at 7, New Orleans Pelicans, 8, Sacramento Kings, LA Clippers at 10, and then the guys that's outside of this, you got San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. So I wanted to go through that to ask you this question. A healthy AD and LeBron James, are they contenders?
You got to always put them in the conversation. I mean,
why are you doing this? Come on, bro. Come on.
No, listen. You always have to put them in the conversation. You didn't ask me if I like what they got going on, but you got to put them in the conversation. I mean, these guys are. When you talk about having LeBron and AD, what is they only playing for championships? You can just say LeBron James, he's only going to play, he's playing the league not to fulfill a contract.
I played for a championship for 13 years. Every day I walked into Hollis Hall, Florham Park, One Jet Drive. I wanted to play for championship too, but then I had Jay Cutler as my quarterback. I had Kyle Orton as my quarterback in Denver. Just because you want to play for a championship, big bro, don't mean that you actually are. You know what I'm saying?
It's different. I gotta tell you, it's different. That's a different mentality. When I played for the Miami Heat, I thought about championship. When I looked at our roster, you look down there. When I was with the Celtics, I tried to make it to the playoffs, bro. That was to make to the playoffs. It was a different mentality. I knew when I looked at my roster, looked up and down my bench, what type of team I had and what level we could compete at. So it's different mentalities. When you know your team, you know when you got one of those championship teams and where you can make a legitimate deep run. But obviously, it's just some teams are just going to be playoff teams. They just may not have enough. Yeah, so I just think with LeBron James, with the team that they built, and I love the moves the Lakers made. I think they're going to be very good as the season goes along if they can stay healthy. And obviously, we don't know AD's already catching the injury bug already. So if they can stay healthy, the way the roster's actually set up, they can make a run.
Wow.
So it's just about a different mentality that you got to have.
Right. I was going to ask you another question on LeBron and the Lakers, but I'm going to shift gears here because we had another big matchup. And it kind of, I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said as far as like the Lakers making a run. Nuggets and the Dubs last night. A lot of people, these are two of the best teams in the NBA, two of the best teams certainly in the Western Conference. And so we were expecting a different type of game. The Nuggets was able to hold off, the Warriors at home. It was exceptional. Joker showed up. And so I'm piggybacking off of what you just said because last night, did the Joker and the Nuggets show that they're just far better than everybody else in the NBA, right? Because when you talk about the Lakers making a run, it's like we saw that last year. Lakers go up against the Nuggets, and the Nuggets made them look like, bro, like they were North Carolina State, right? So it's like, it was almost unfair, right? Like seeing AD and LeBron there. You remember the one moment last year where the Joker hit a three in front of AD. It was contested. It was phenomenal defense. Nothing but bottom of the net. And then AD just turned and started smiling and laughing. You remember that moment where he was like, there's nothing I could do, right? So they continue this. The question I have for you is is the Joker in the Nuggets just far better than everybody else in the NBA?
I think team-wise, they're far better. And what I mean by that is guys knowing their role, understanding their system, letting their superstar be the superstar that he is. Everybody, they feed off him and his triple-double type of ability that he has every night. And if you watch them play, and I know sometimes the Nuggets may not be the biggest draw to watch on TV, but they play good team basketball, and they let their star control the show. You never see them fighting over the basketball. You never see them having good fluent offense that's going. And I think that's what it is. They have a lot of mutual respect for each other. They know the Joker is going to be the Joker. They're a great coach, and Mike Malone, who's a great defensive-minded coach that puts them in great situations. And if you notice, and people don't talk about this, all their young guys that they incorporate into the rotation play well with them. Gives them great energy, gives them great spark.
Right.
While the big three, which I consider the big three for them, the Joker, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter, are able to still to do their thing. And they just got a good team, and they play that the cohesiveness that they play with puts them in the mix. And we've seen this before. Golden State, the team that's up there right now too as well. I mean, you build those type of teams, you get great runs. Right. When you keep your core together, when you get your 7, 8 guys that believes in your system, that believes in playing together, you can make deep runs. And I think that's what the Denver Nuggets are doing. They're riding the wave right now. Everybody knows their role. They know their position. They know the Joker's going to come out and give you possibly a triple-double every night. He's going to find you. They share the basketball. They may not have the high flyers and some of the huge names in the league. And so that's why people sometimes don't give them the credit or don't believe that they're going to be in the mix. But they're going to be in the mix for the next couple of years.
Bro, if you go back to last year, some would say, right, like maybe it was a one-hit wonder. Bro, that run, that postseason run was one of the best. And this is me as a casual fan. Obviously, you're an expert. You played, you covered the game, right? So you know better than I do and any of us. But it felt like that was one of the best runs we've ever seen in a postseason. I mean, at home, did they lose one? I don't know. Maybe they lost one game at home in the postseason. This year, I mean, they're 8-1 this year. They're 6-0 at home. It seems like nobody can beat them at home. And so last year they do that. Then they come into this year and they pick up right where they left off, and it's scary. And so my question is, how big is the gap between Joker and the Nuggets and the number 2 team in the NBA? Whatever team, that could be East or West. And I want to know who you think is the team out there that could potentially knock them off.
Well, I think in the West right now it's going to be tough. I think it's too many moving parts on the teams in the West that's going to be able to knock them off. When you talk about getting into a 7-game series and have to beat them 4 times, I don't think a team has to build to that level. I don't think no team right now is at that level. I think in the East it's a little different story because you got some really talented teams. When I think about the Celtics, when I think about the Bucks, those teams can, with the rosters that they have put together, can get hot. Talent-wise, from top to bottom, maybe a little bit more talented than the Denver Nuggets, but you don't have to deal with them to the finals. So I think you worry about that, Animal, when you get there. But right now in the West, just the togetherness and the way they play and having the best player right now in the league and Joker, you got to go through Denver, and we have to respect it.
You just said Joker is the best player in the NBA.
Yeah, it's no question.
Wow.
No, that's not a question right now. I don't think – can you name me somebody that's better than him?
I mean, Embiid was the MVP last year. And Embiid beat the Celtics last night, who was, they're the number 1 team in the East right now. So he picking up where he left off last year. And I know there's a little debate. Everybody's like, well, Joker should have been MVP. Well, he wasn't. Embiid was. Embiid is the most dominant player in the NBA. Yeah. Come on, bro. Come on. That's a debate. Like, Embiid is Elijah. Go ahead.
It's not a great debate. It's just a debate.
Okay, so, I mean, KD, I still believe KD. Well, you know what? This is what I believe. Let me be honest.
Brandon,
I think Devin Booker is the best player in the NBA right now. That's what I think. If I was a general manager, okay, or owner of a team, let's go story time. Las Vegas, they won a team. But I beat LeBron James to getting the team, right? LeBron James, I'm sorry, you didn't have enough money. I got more money than you, LeBron James. Okay, I got the team, I got the committee. Las Vegas chose me. Who do I pick number one? Bro, I'm going to go get Devin Booker. Devin Booker is the face of my franchise in Las Vegas. That's who I have as the best player in the NBA right now. But everybody's talking about Joker number one, and I think there's an argument, and like you said, it's a good debate on Joel Embiid.
Yeah, but if I'm starting a franchise, it depends on what you're trying to do. I think obviously with Joker, you get a guy he's a triple-double threat. It's really hard to go against that, Brent. You have to respect that stat. It's getting done too easily by himself. He's a great passer at his size. So this is the thing. He can get you 30, or he can get you 15, 15, and 15. It ain't too many guys that can do that. So you can think what you can build around him. So if I'm going to start a team, I want to build it around a guy that's going to share it, can do everything over the side of a Devin Booker. And I love Devin Booker. But I wouldn't start my team with a Devin Booker because really it's going to be him getting you 30. And he's had some nights where he's assisted the basketball really, really well. I'll give you that.
You know what's interesting? What's interesting hearing you say that, I always, I'm weird, go to some football, right? So it's like a wide receiver and a running back, right? Like if you have, let's say, a Saquon Barkley and a Saquon Barkley, he'll give you, let's say he give you 100 yards on the ground, week in and week out, 1 to 2 tubs, right? Okay. Now you look at a wide receiver. Let's say a Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson may give you 125 to 150 yards, okay, outside, and maybe a touchdown, right? And it's like, so who do you choose? And it's interesting because, like a running back's impact, that 100 you're controlling the game, right? Like when Saquon Barkley is toting it 20 times a game, we're talking about time of possession. We're talking about efficient offense and staying in front of the chains. A wide receiver, that 125 can be made up. Half of it is made up on one play. So stay with me here, though, Twan. So hearing you say pick the Joker over like a Devin Booker, right? Like, talk to me about the impact of that 15, 15, and 15 outside of a guard who might flash, here and there.
Well, the difference is if you got a guy that's a triple-double threat, with him he's a great scoring threat, too, as well. So there's some guys that can get you triple-double. Say Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was a guy who had a bunch of triple-doubles, but he wasn't the guy who's going to get you 30. So you don't have to necessarily send a double team at him. You can play him totally different. The Joker can get you 30 on any given night. So you may have to double him. So that's the thing that becomes really the difference maker with those two guys with a guy like Joker, because he has the ability to go get you 30 on any given night. So his triple doubles can be, that's why his triple doubles are so huge. We're not talking about low numbers triple double where a guy has 10, 11, and 12. We're talking about a guy who got 25, 15, and then 12. That's a different type of triple double. Right. That's what makes him special. That's why he's getting the MVP award. That's why he's an NBA champion. Because it's a special, unique talent that we haven't seen before, especially from the center position. That's what makes it special. We haven't seen it before.
That was my next question is, have we seen this before? And you just answered it for me.
You said we have seen it before?
No. That was going to be my next question. Have we seen this before? But you just answered it. You said we haven't seen this before. So my question...
Not from the center spot. Magic Johnson was a point guard. Magic was a point guard. I mean, we know Magic, he was 6'9", 6'10" at point. This guy's from the center spot.
So
this is different.
So when it's all said and done, and I might be getting ahead of myself, but where does he fall in history?
I mean, obviously he'll be a top 3 center of all time, depending on what you like. In the history of playing, he's definitely being.
Can you give me? I hate when you do this.
20?
I hate when you do this. Can you be black and white here? Can you tell me, Brandon, when it's all said and done, he's going to be here? I don't even know why you be politically politically correct sometimes.
No, I'm not. I mean, he's the top 3 center ever. It's tough to get over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the best center ever. It's tough. I'm not just giving that to Joker, but when it's all said and done, he's chasing that guy as being the best center ever. That's the guy he's chasing.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move forward then.
And I also throw this in there. I love these other 2 guys too. I think Hakeem Olajuwon was really special at the center spot with his skill set. I think Joker has more skill set because he's able to do some other things with passing. But Joker's, and then you got Shaq with his dominance when he came in too as well. I don't want to devalue Shaq when he came in and how dominant he was. But you got to put all these things in perspective when they're playing at a different age. This is a different type of game. They all have different games. And it's kind of like, well, we got to think about where's Wemby going to end up at? We never seen a guy 7.
You ready to have that conversation? He's been in the NBA for 2 months. What are you talking about? You ready?
I mean, I'm basing off where he's headed for what we saw in 2 months. Obviously, he's way away from being in these conversations.
Well, shelve that, because we're gonna talk about him a little later. You're talking about Victor. Let's shelve that. Right. We're gonna talk about that a little later in the show. Wow, you ready to have that conversation? Wow. That's wild. Okay, listen, let's finish up on Joker real quick, all right? And then we're going to transition into James Harden. James Harden, obviously, with the Clippers. All right, since you want to stay with the centers, let's take him out of the center position and let's just say, where does he finish? Does he finish top 10 in it all time, or does he finish top 5? And that's the Joker who we're talking about.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Yes.
So who's out? No, that's it. I ain't gonna do that because I can keep going. All right, top 10. I'll take that.
Top 10.
All right, look, bro. Another big game last night. I don't know if you watched Harden and the Clippers last night. They lost to my boys, Brooklyn. You see me. You know, I'm still rolling with Brooklyn. It's so interesting, like that we lose. James Harden, that's who I'm rocking right now. This is a throwback James Harden. We only had him for about 10 games, but I still rock with it. Throwback, so James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and KD, and we're still in position. So anyways, they lose to the Nets last night. Harden had a good game, right? Like 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, but they still lose. Does James Harden turn the Clippers into a championship contender?
No.
Woo!
He doesn't make them a championship contender. James Harden is such a unique player, and people got to understand that. They needed a full training camp. They needed some summer together. It's tough to put a guy like that right into the rotation where you have 2 other guys that are potentially Hall of Famers, 2 great guys that don't necessarily need James Harden to score the basketball. Kawhi Leonard can go get his own. Paul George can go get his own. And you need some work together. This is going to take time. This will be a team, especially with T. Lue, and I have so much respect for him. They'll get it right. Hopefully they don't have any injuries and those guys can stay healthy. They'll get it right. It's just going to take some time. Their talent is going to have to keep them in it, stay playing 500 basketball or maybe a couple games over it, and look for them to make a late run in the season. I wouldn't want to play them come playoffs. They'll match up. Ooh, that's a disaster. You don't want to go against those guys.
So why don't you have them as a contender then? If they, which they will, would you agree that they will make it to the playoffs?
Yeah, they will make it to the playoffs. I just have that much. I believe in T. Lue as a coach, but it's all based on health. They don't need to have a setback where Kawhi has to miss 6 weeks. You don't need Paul George missing a significant amount of time. They got to stay together. They need to work. They need to practice. They need to get this thing kind of like a well-oiled machine. It's going to take some time.
See, that's where I disagree with you, Twan. You know, I'm full of disclaimers. Let me give you a little background, okay? I grew up playing football. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, okay? And it's football country. I don't even know if there was, I don't even remember a basketball court within a 15, 20-mile radius. I'd never even seen a basketball court. But anyways, Pops had this bright idea. He's like, look, my dad was in the streets, right? Drug dealer. Okay, guys, that's what that means, YouTubers, okay? So he's like, look, I'm gonna change my life and I'm gonna move down to Florida. So we go down to Florida, and just like I'm asking you to be my neighbor, come down to Florida. Like we had good neighbors. Okay, I'm trying to ask you to be a good neighbor. Come down here. But anyways, we moved to Florida, and then boom, I got some good neighbors. And they say, hey, let me introduce you to the Little Magic, right? Orlando Magic. We moved to Orlando. And they're like, let's play some basketball. So I start playing some basketball, and I was a hustler. I got, Mr. Defensive Player of the Year, Mr. Hustle Award, et cetera, et cetera. I'm giving you all of these disclaimers so I can talk basketball. I'm trying to build my credibility right now. So stay with me, Antoine, okay? So, boom. I make it to middle school. I start playing AAU basketball, like some of the biggest, like the Atlanta Celtics. Have you ever heard of the Atlanta Celtics? Team
yes, I heard of it.
Yeah.
But I heard Atlanta Celtics about through Dwight Howard and Josh Smith.
Yeah, boy. So
Yeah.
That's right. So I was able to make the 15 and under, 16 and under, boom, 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 right? Then I get to college, I get to high school, and everybody knew I was going to play football. So I go to the Gators. That's what was my dream. I'm at football camp. Billy Donovan, he's there. They got a late night run. He's like, hey, tell Brandon to come play with us, because if he comes to Florida to play football, right, he can be our 12th man. I'm excited about that. I'll sit on the bench as long as I'm catching some touchdowns. So that's my basketball background. See, Ashley always make fun of me when she's here about, like, what do you know about basketball? I know some basketball, okay? So now that I built my credibility, now let's talk some more hoop, because now I'm going to push back on you. Bro, I absolutely think that this can work. This will work. I absolutely believe that they'll figure it out before the end of the regular season. Y'all play, 82 games? 82 games y'all play? How many games y'all play in the NBA, which is absurd?
It's 82. With this tournament stuff, does that increase the games? I haven't paid attention to that. Does that increase the games load or not?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. BC is saying it doesn't. Our producer is saying no. One of our producers saying no, it doesn't. But that's 82 games, okay? And so you said something like, well, they don't need James Harden to score the basketball because Kawhi can create, Paul George can create, da-da-da-da-da. That's what makes it beautiful, is that you got 4 guys willing to compromise, willing to sacrifice. And so if one is off, the other could be on. Or if Kawhi goes down for a couple of weeks, now you got James Harden who can go out there and give you 40. He did that last year. I don't think he's washed. Now, can he do that consistently over the entire season? No. But if you need to call on him for a spurt, I truly believe he can tap into that the same way he's been doing it the last 5 years since he's transitioned into this more point, kind of like, I don't even know what you guys would call this type of style of point guard, right? Like he's averaging 22 points. He's averaging, 5 rebounds, 10 assists over the last 5 years. So I absolutely think this can work. And if I'm if I'm in the West right now, I am scared shitless of the Clippers, bro, because these 4 guys together sacrificing, they could potentially beat a team that knock off the Nuggets.
They could beat anybody with their talent. I agree with you on that. I'm not disagreeing with what they can really be and how scary they really could be. I think when you put 4 guys of that caliber, their skill set together, of course they can win it all. It's about gelling. It's about being healthy. It's about sacrifice. That's one thing. Is everybody ready to sacrifice for the ultimate goal?
What do you think?
And
what do you think? Outside looking in?
I would think with the age they are and what these guys have been throughout their career, you're looking at 4 guys that's possibly all going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. So I think the last thing for those guys to do in their career to see if they can win another championship. So I would think their mentality, mentally, and what the sacrifices they're going to have to make individually, I would think they have it. I just have a lot of respect. I have a lot of faith in T. Lue that they can make a deep run. It's one coach that can do this, that's got the player's personality, that's a player's coach first. I think he can make this happen. He's been in the trenches before. He's coached superstars before. He's ultimately coached, arguably, a lot of people think the best player to ever play the game in LeBron James. So if it's one guy that can do it as a coach, it's T. Lue. So that's how much respect I have for him to be able to do this. And you also got to remember this. It's been like a year and a half, almost 2 years, they've been chirping about getting James Harden over there. So T. Lue's wanted this.
Wow.
He's wanted this opportunity. We don't think about that. Think about it. We've been talking about this for like a year and a half of him going to the Clippers.
Why would T. Lue want this? Because it seems every time, even me, bro, I'll be honest with you, I'm wearing James Harden right now. Like, I'm a fan of all the sauce he brings to the game. But when you think about everything outside the game, it's like a lot of times it's like a distraction when you're trying to build a team and you're trying to compete for championships, right? So I would say that I lean more towards the side of like I wouldn't want James Harden on my team, right? But then you have a T. Lue, a guy that you respect. Why would a T. Lue want a James Harden? Like, what is he seeing in James Harden that 75% of the basketball world or the sports world ain't seeing or don't believe in?
Well, I think the talent speaks for itself. I mean, he's arguably one of the greatest, I don't know what you want to call him because he's different. He's played the two guard, he's played point guard that we've seen, but one of the best one-on-one players that we've seen. So you can add a talent like that, and you got to. I just think you have to. You can't afford not to. I mean, it's not going. You're not going through the draft. You're not doing this. And he probably believes. You never know. And you know this, B. He may have a relationship with James Harden that we don't know about off the court.
Yeah.
Where he can talk to him, where he can communicate with him. We don't know that. And then you got to think Russ is over there. He played with Russ. Him and Russ got along really well. Obviously in OKC. And I'm pretty sure Kawhi Leonard and Paul George had to sign off too as well. So these are guys that want to play with each other.
Right.
So I think, right, especially with the point they're in their career, all these guys got individual accolades that we can just stack up and we can take forever talking about, but they haven't won a championship together. This is something that they want to do. And Kawhi Leonard being the one guy that's won a championship can bring that on to these guys, the sacrifice it's going to take and what it's going to need. T. Lue being a championship coach. So the ingredients are there to get it done. Obviously, we know the talent's there, but can they put it together with those big four mentalities? And can James Harden have a sacrifice that it's going to take? Because James is a guy that's used to having the ball for 15, 17, 18 minutes of a shot clock.
Okay.
These guys don't need that. You got to share it a little bit. You got to spot up in the corner. You got to change your game up a little bit.
So here's what I would say, bro. Like, I got the Suns. This is preseason. Suns. My pick in the West is the Suns. All right. Now, it ain't looking good. I think we 7th seed right now. We're going to put it together. And we'll talk a little Bradley Beal. He finally got back out there. We'll say that again?
Bradley Beal missed early on, so we got to we'll be fair in that sense and get at some time.
So it's going to be interesting. I'll be honest with you. You know, I like the underdogs. I like the storylines. I had the Clippers a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago. I had the Clippers. I was high on the Clippers, and then it didn't happen. Bro, if I could pick again, it would be hard for me not to pick the Clippers. I'm really excited about this team, bro. Really am. So you said that, you know, we'll see if they can put it all together. Do you think, because there was another big game in last night in the NBA. NBA was on fire last night, bro. I think I'm getting more excited about the NBA than I am about the NFL, for real. Like, I told Ashley that yesterday, bro. Like, you know, me and you kind of opposite. You watch more football probably than I do, and I might be watching more. I think I might be watching more basketball than you're watching basketball right now. Huh?
Yeah, I'm a big football guy, yeah.
Well, okay, before we transition there, so tell me, give me an update on the season. We're halfway through NFL season. What's your thoughts there? Any players you're feeling? I know you're a big Bears fan, right? But any other teams that you're excited about? Give me your halfway synopsis, if I said that right. Y'all know I'm chopping up words.
I'm excited about this season because I can't really. This is the first season I can't really say, well, they going to the Super Bowl. You know, like every year you can kind of like.
Yes.
It's a team that's like, you know, going to the Super Bowl.
Bro, you used the word earlier. You said parity. There's more parity in the NBA. There's more parity in the NFL. It's exactly that.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's the thing that I love about the NFL. So I do these little these football sheets or whatever. That we got these little football sheets that we do. You pick your team, whatever, and you bet $25 on the little football sheets. And every week it's so hard. I can't win this thing. Like, you never know. Like, that's what makes it like, and I know you hate to judge it like that, but it's like a fun thing that we do, me and my guys, but it's so hard to win because every week is something different. And then obviously I'm the ultimate Bears fan, so I'm disappointed, every week, wondering what we're trying to do and what we're building, especially without Justin Fields playing. So doesn't make it as more of an exciting season for me as a fan.
Right.
Because I'm a big Justin Fields guy. You know that.
Do you keep Justin Fields? Do you keep Justin Fields, or do you go after, Caleb Williams at USC?
I like Justin Fields. I like a guy that's proven. He's young. You can continue to build around him. I think he going into the draft is starting over again. And the Bears, to be honest, as an organization, we're not going to do the right thing for this kid. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm a diehard. So I'm allowed to say that. I've been in the trenches as a fan, so I feel like I'm allowed to say that. But I would let it stay where we at right now. I think, obviously injuries happen and they're part of the game, but I think Justin's right there to turn the corner, and he's only going to get better.
All right, before we move on to Wemby, I want to talk a little. We're going to shift to Wemby. I was going to go to the Celtics and the Sixers last night. I think that Joel Embiid is the Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum's kryptonite. But we're going to go to Wemby. But before we go to Wemby, all right, because he was at MSG last night, talk a little bit more about the Bears. Your top 5 skill players ever. No, let's go top 7 skill players ever for the Chicago Bears. I gave you 7.
Top
7.
Skill players?
Skill, running back, cornerback, receiver, quarterback.
In the history of the Bears?
Punt returner, kick returners, all of that, yes.
Wow.
Are you...
I mean,
or give me, let me make it easier for you. Give me your top 7 most electric players ever. Electric. Could score anytime.
So you making me go back in the history of the Bears?
It don't matter. You can go back to George Hollis. George Hollis was one of the founding members of the NFL.
Brandon, I know you want to be a part of this list.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Yes.
I already know. You want to be a part of this list.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I might have to take Willie Gold over you.
What? Bro.
Willie Gold, the speedster. I may have to take him over you. You tell me my top 7?
Don't do this for TV. Don't do this for YouTube right now. Don't do this for YouTube, bro. Come on, bro. You know I brought a lot of excitement to the city when I came, boy. They was like, oh, B. Marsh done. B. Marsh washed up.
You did. We was geeked up, but you wasn't a deep threat, B. We used to Willie Gold. You know what I mean?
So what you want? What you want? You want Willie Gold, who legend?
Devin Hester. We got Devin Hester, probably the greatest kickoff returner, one of the greatest kickoff returners, punt returners ever.
Okay, but let me say what this Willie Gold thing.
Obviously, Walter Payton.
Okay, but we passed that. We passed that. We're talking about Willie Gold now. Willie Gold, Brandon Marshall. Willie Gold, Brandon Marshall.
I'm thinking about great receivers that we had. You told me to go into the top 7.
You can't give me number 1 greatest Bears receiver of all time. I can't get that.
Because you popped this question on me.
I went on a crazy run in Chicago.
Huh?
I went on a crazy run in Chicago. I never paid for a steak in Chicago, bro. And I'm just like, it was amazing. I used to go eat dinner. Let me tell you about Chicago. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, bro. Y'all treated me so good. And this how me and Twan formed our relationship. I would be going down in the west side, the West Loop or whatever, and I would see Twan right there getting here.
When you make your story, though, and I'm not taking anything, and I'm just teasing you right now about where I rank you at, but you also got to put this in perspective. Please do this. Chicago's had terrible quarterbacks in the history of being a Chicago Bears. You've argued you had the best gunslinger that we had. Jay Cutler was the best gunslinger that we had.
So because I played with Jay Cutler, now you're going to knock my value down?
And you had a great relationship coming from Denver with him too as well. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you had a better quarterback than a lot of other receivers that have came through Chicago.
Okay. This is what I would say before we move on to Wemby. This is what I would say. Because now you're trying to hold that I played with Jay Cutler against me. That's what you're trying to do.
No, I'm holding it that's a good thing. You had a good quarterback, a guy that I was a Jay Cutler fan. I wasn't like some of these Chicago people. I thought Jay was good.
Yeah, you love Jay. I love Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell y'all 2 stories, right? Jay Cutler was, during this time, we were throwing a lot of interceptions. We weren't really moving the ball. Defense was playing exceptionally well, right? I just got to Chicago. I'm on fire, right? So the first story I was going to tell you guys is, because this is how legendary my time in Chicago was. Opening day in Chicago, first game of the season, we're playing against the Indianapolis Colts at home, Soldier Field. I go out there, I have 119 yards and maybe a touchdown or two. Boom, amazing start. We win the game. Soon as I get in the locker room, I get a call. Hey, Brandon, do you want to go to Michael Jordan's house? Michael Jordan called me, come over to the crib. Michael Jordan's people, not Michael Jordan, let me stop capping. It wasn't Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan ain't called me himself, but the people called me. And I go to the crib that's still on the market. This house been on the market for damn near 15 years. You know the house I'm talking about. You've probably been over there a bunch. Why won't that house sell? I'm sorry I'm getting off track here, but it's been on the market for 15 years. But anyways, that was my introduction to Chicago and the whole sports world there. So that was legendary. But anyways, now my second story, because you brought up Jay Cutler. So everybody walking around the city, Jay Cutler this, Jay Cutler that. You were one of the real ones that stuck by Jay Cutler, okay? Yep. My dad came home one day, you know, he was walking around the city. Everybody in Chicago knew my dad. He comes, his son, man, everybody, they mad at Jay Cutler. I said, well, Dad, what did you tell all these people when you was walking around the city? He said, I love Jay Cutler. He throw my son the ball. He said, we love Jay Cutler in my house. You right, bro. Hey, Jay Cutler looked back. I had 3 guys on me. He's still throwing the ball. Bruh, it didn't matter. He is coming, bro.
That's a great thing, though.
That's right. That's to your point. To your point. All right. So shifting gears here. So we're going to talk a little bit of Wemby here.
Yeah.
And then after we talk Wemby, guys, this will be the end of the video component on YouTube, and you guys will be able to watch or listen to the rest on SiriusXM. Antoine and I will go for another 30 minutes on the audio version of our platform. This is Antoine Walker, Brandon Marshall. This is Paper Route. No Ashley Nicole Moss. She's somewhere in Belize or Jamaica. I don't know what island she's traveling to, but she has a cool little deal she's working on, and she needed a little bit of me time. She's been working her tail off. And then Brandon Flower's been holding it down for us as well. So we're talking hoops. We talked a little football, which wasn't in our run of the show. And now we're going to talk Wemby before we end this YouTube live stream. After Victor Wembanyama said he thought MSG would be bigger, Twan, it was Victor who came up small at the Garden. He made only 4 of 14 shots and missed all 4 of his 3-point attempts. Twan, Mr. Shimmy, what was your reaction to his game last night?
He's going to have nights like this as a rookie. I mean, I know one playing in Madison Square Garden is very special. Me being a player, I look forward to it. I had some special nights there. It's nothing like having a monster game in MSG, and he'll understand that. He'll understand the history of that and get a feel for that. The Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the LeBron James, the Antoine Walkers of the world that have big games, and the superstars have big games in Madison Square Garden. That's the Mecca. So we all look forward to playing in that arena.
Right.
He'll get that. It'll grow on him. He'll understand how important that is. But it's going to be nice like this. It's going to be growing pains for him. You got to think, as the season goes along, more film is going to be out. So people will know how to defend him a little different. This is the growth and the learning period. And it's very early. But he has to understand, once you start to get 5, 10, 15, 20 games to the season, teams know you. The scouting report comes out. They're going to start defending you better. They're going to find out your strengths and weaknesses. And he has to continue to work on that.
Right.
And hopefully he'll understand that. But that's the difference in where he has an advantage at is that he has a Popovich that's going to help him and guide him through that. You got to think, he don't necessarily have the personnel on that roster yet. He doesn't have the veterans and those type of things to help him through that.
Okay, so let's stay right there.
Go ahead.
I like Pop. I like that. You're right about that. This is why this is really interesting. It's a really interesting team right now. Talking about personnel, so what guy would you like to see as his sidekick? He's Batman, who's Robin? Like, it could be anybody in the league. Who can they go after? What move can they make potentially before the trade deadline this year, or maybe it's next year?
I would like to see him with a dominant point guard, a point guard who can make
Give
things
me a
life a lot.
name.
I would. It's tough to throw a name
No,
out
bro, you
because
can't just say this a dominant point guard. See, I hate when you do this, bro. Get messy. Give me a name.
Right,
We go get somebody.
That's the thing, because when it requires that, I have to go into looking at free agents. I gotta look at guys got 1 year left on their deal.
Okay, but let's not look at it that way. Let's say perfect world. Like, I know I see where you're going because you want to keep your credibility. You don't want to be like me where people are like, we ain't listening to Brandon Marshall talk about no NBA. No, say no salary cap ain't a problem. Years on deals, nothing. But you say, man, these will be 5 perfect sidekicks for Wemby. Or whatever. It could be 2, it could be 3, whatever you want to throw out there.
5. I don't think, it's 5 is a big number. I don't want to have to think that hard right now in the league. To like really scream through it. I would like to see him with an aggressive scoring point guard that demands, well, in the pick and roll, they'll be special. So let's take a guy that's not playing right now. You know who I would love to see him play with? A guy who's not playing right now.
Ja Morant?
Yep, Ja Morant. Yeah. I know that probably would never happen.
Right.
But I would
they
like
might
to see
if he pull out a pistol again. They might. He might be on the market.
But let alone playing for San Antonio, he might not be in the league. That's a whole nother story. But I would like to see him and I basically say that to say I would like to see him with a dynamic point guard that demands double teams, that demands certain things in pick and rolls. That's going to allow him to free up.
Oh, I got it, Twan. Sorry to cut you off.
Go on. You got a player?
Oh, I got it, Twan.
Give me a player.
LaMelo.
Love it.
Ooh.
Love it. I love it. Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
A great passer, great in the pick and roll. He can score it. You want to make life easy for him. You got to think about this. What made Tim Duncan and David Robinson earn this kid great? Tony Parker. Tony Parker was great. He was great for those guys. Great in the pick and roll. You know what I mean? Going to get them 6 to 8 easy points. Everything right now, if you watch Wemby, everything is so hard for him right now. He's doing, and that's what makes him, that's how you know he's going to be special. He don't have anybody coming down, giving him lobs at the rim, running pick and rolls, making him get easy buckets, things. Everything right now is hardcore for him.
Twan, I got another one. I got another one, Twan. See, I might know more basketball than you because I'm throwing out. Well, I threw out Ja. You were saying this. You were about to say Ja Morant, but I got there a little sooner. And then I said LaMelo, and you was like, I love it. I got another one that you gonna love, and it could potentially happen.
What's that?
Trae Young.
Yeah.
You don't love it as much as LaMelo.
Well, I think he's a scoring point guard. Had a lot of success. I mean, not saying that Trae won't pass it, but really a scoring point guard, looks for his a lot. I'm trying to think of guys that's going to make life easier for him. Who's going to get him that 6 to 10 points where he doesn't have to work with that 7'5" height. It comes into play where he's just catching a couple things at the rim, making it easy for him. That's where it's at. That's where it's at for me.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Let me go here real quick and then
think about this. Think about Steve Nash and Dirk. And I know obviously Dirk was, but think about it. You want a situation where Steve Nash made life easy for Dirk. Because he could score the basketball. He's such a great passer. And I played with him.
I'm gonna lose credibility here. I'm gonna be honest, Twan. I know he played for Dallas, but I don't remember the games. So, and how dynamic him and Dirk was. When I think of dynamic, I think of Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire. So I'm losing credibility here. But I'm always honest.
Not really, but I mean, you still think about it. That's still a big man that he made life easy for. How many dunks did you see Stoudemire get off the pick and roll with him and Steve Nash?
But it felt like that was the whole game.
Okay, then. That's what I'm saying. We got to get Wemby in one of those situations. It may take a while, but once they get a point guard like that can get him 6 to 10 points that way. Imagine how good this guy gonna be. They can shoot the 3. He's so skilled. Think about this now. That average is gonna go from 16 to 17 to 26 immediately once he plays with a great point guard.
Now, okay, all right. Last question I have on this, and then we'll go to break, and we'll be on SiriusXM Faction Talk Channel 103, audio only. Will it take Will it take Wemby longer than it took LeBron to become one of the best players in the NBA?
No, because I don't think it will. I think San Antonio is learning how good this guy can be. They're a great organization as far as putting guys around their superstars. I'm just going off their history. And it depends on how long is Pop grooming somebody to step up and be the next coach. How long is he going to stay in the mix and the fire with the Spurs? And we know he's enjoyed developing guys. But at some point, Pop is a competitor. It's a guy that's, a Hall of Fame coach. He wants to win. They're going to move fast. This is a generational talent. This is a guy that can be great for the next 15 years, and you don't want to waste this. So you want to make sure you put talent around him. So I think they're going to be super aggressive next year in the free agent market to put pieces around him. I think this year is a fill-out year to see how good he really is, see where he can be great at, see where you can add value in around him, what's going to be needed to make that team great, and not to waste his talent. I think the Spurs, they're going to be very active and building around this young guy.
Well, that will be it for our video component of today's show. Myself and Antoine Walker will continue after this break. We'll talk a little bit of LeBron James and LeBron saying, Antoine, that he will still be the king without Miami. Now, Antoine Walker was a guy that was on a championship team. Was that 2006, Twan?
Yes, 2006.
2006. So when we talk about the Heat culture, Twan will be able to dive into what that exactly is. We talked about that yesterday with Ashley Nicole Moss and Brandon Flowers. And this is something that we've been talking about all week. Now that we have an expert on today, we want to get his thoughts and continue that conversation. Again, this is the end of our video component. If you want to continue to hear us debate and me continue to prove that I'm an expert in NBA with Antoine Walker on, follow us on SiriusXM, Faction Talk Channel 103. We'll see y'all after this break.
Ooh, is one of the biggest curses you can get from God.
Oh my goodness.
Because when you break a woman's heart, man, I started asking women how they feel. Man, a woman told me, 2 women told me it feel like death. Well, men got to realize, if we can't take it, don't dish it out. Because imagine, when we go cheat, but then imagine we visualize when she cheat and she got that leg cocked up and she just screaming for dear life. You gonna be like, whoever you with at the moment, get off me.
Yeah, you picturing it, you thinking about it.
So it's like, if men had to see that, I think men would be more faithful. But women know they can't show that because the world judged them too much. But that's really what it is. People just want to do what they want to do. And a woman be so mad because the world won't let her do what she want to do because they call her
a hoe.
A hoe.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I just be honest. I just don't want to wake up right now. There's nobody in my bed every morning. Like, how that sound?
Right.
Just think about that. Even how, nobody don't like sleeping with each other. Man.
Right.
You can't talk on the phone, right? Homeboy. It's just, you might be talking business. It's like, you got to wake up with the same person. So you tell me you want to watch the same thing on TV. Say, like, sleep in the same bed. I just think that's nobody don't want to do that. Women just rather do it because it's easier for them to be with one person because the world is set them like that, and it's beautiful to have that companion, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful production.
So you don't believe that there's a man and woman could...
You want me to tell the truth?
Yeah, I want you to tell.
Country Wayne is out here to tell the truth that nobody in the world take. I don't even think a woman she want it, but when she get in it, you don't think she want to slip out too? That same feeling come across her.
Yeah, I believe that.
She just mad because she held it. She had to go use a rose, and she had to use her imagination, and we go out there and got to feel the real tangible thing.
I don't know if I'm subscribing to that.
You think women don't feel that?
I think that the problem is that there's two broken. Yes, this is bruh. Can I get?
If men knew women for real, yeah. we wouldn't even be talking this calm.
I think the problem is that broken people are getting together. Yeah. And I'm not talking from a place of being an expert right now.
What you said, no, that's expertise. You got to accept that was an expert comment. Bruh. And you know what? Everybody say that, but you saying it that calm with this carpet. Broken people are getting together, and the problem is nobody's fixed. People just fixed a little more than the next person. Mm-hmm. So what it is, broken people, man, they got to go to God together.
But also, like, we in our community, we say God, Jesus is the ultimate healer. But like, some people need to do some intensive therapy. Some people may need medicine. Some people may need, yoga, right? Meditation. So it's like there's a few things that we got to do, because I believe, like, if we all got shit, we all dealing with stuff.
That's real.
But if you work on you and I work on me, then we come together, then we got a chance. But we don't got a chance, bro. That's why divorce rate is 70, 80%. We don't got a chance. Like, work on your shit, let me work on my shit, come together. Because like, when you asked me and it was uncomfortable, you was like, are you in love? Like, I think. Yeah. But what I realized is I was about to repeat the same cycle. So we had to come together, and it's like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful, because it was like, you go do you, I'm gonna go do me, and if it's meant to be, we come back together. But if we stay together right now, it's gonna be the same thing.
Sometimes the fix you ain't the best you. Because like when you go to Paris and all these places, it's the imperfections of the place that make it perfect. It's the mountains uneven, and when you go to the beach, it's the dirty water.
And what we looking for is perfection, and that's not what you gonna get.
Nah, we ain't gonna get perfection. Because imperfect means I'm perfect. God is perfect. So it's because if we were perfect, we'll give our glory to perfection. So he makes everybody imperfect so you can have a flaw, so you can stay humble. So 'cause we all got flaws. So when I look at another man, that's
it's that thorn in your side.
Yeah, so I never judge, because we all got flaws. So he got everybody imperfect for a reason. Right. And when you truly love a person, you love the imperfections. Now the problem becomes when even if you love their imperfections, they don't love their imperfections.
Yeah. Came up from the mud, it's like I walk around with a shoe stain. Uncle gave me fire when we kicked it, he was Luke Kane. Remember we was struggling for a dinner, needed loose change. Now the money never stopped, and I feel like I'm Bruce Wayne.